Hey guys, Justin here from Simplified Investing. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. So we do every weekend. This is going to be our weekly watch list highlighting the 5 plays of the week that we're watching. With that being said, 5 plays this week. First one being Tesla, second one being Facebook, third one being Boeing, fourth one being Target, and then the fifth one being Walmart. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. So getting things started, as I always do, I'm going to be breaking down the market, this time going more in depth within the market and also going into the VIX. Just as we are in unprecedented times, the market has shown unprecedented activity, and I want to highlight a few things that I've seen, some potential good signs and some potential bad signs as well. So let's get right into it. So looking at this here, /NQ or the NASDAQ futures, what we see here is we formed net new lows on the daily chart. And anytime you form net new lows on a chart, that's obviously not a bullish signal, right? Looking at this here, you can see we touched all the way down to this 11,530 area regional weekly support. So you have to go all the way out to the 3-year weekly chart to find the support, which is where we got back here on 11/9 of 2020. So unprecedented times here. It's also the first time that we've closed down consecutively 7 weeks, 8 weeks in a row on the Dow Jones, 7 weeks on the NASDAQ here. Also unprecedented times, not seen since 1930. So when you look at this, it's obviously a weak market. Now, there's some glimmer of hope here that we're holding this support region, but this support region is just like all of these. They aren't important unless, or they aren't showing strong signs unless they do show a reversal. Now, if we do zoom in intraday here, very nice bounce off the support. So we broke down, shook out those weak orders, confirmed above, retest, and nice push here into close. So yes, we are closing here with some strength on Friday. Now, that is just a shorter time frame strength here. I want to see this curl up through 12,000. Above that, through this 12,650 region for any potential upside here. Now, likely what this did here today was shaking out a lot of weak orders. A lot of people chasing those 52-week lows, using that as their stop loss. Well, hey, now they're stopped out here. And you can see that nice relief bounce that we did get here on Friday going into the close. So watching this through this 12,000 region, cup move through this 12,600 region for continued upside here. And again, that strong support will be at 11,533. So if you're watching the NASDAQ futures, very, very strong support below on this level. One thing I want you guys to look at too is the VIX. And really, the VIX is the volatility index. It kind of senses the fear in the market as well. And if we're going to look at this from a weekly chart perspective, you can see this COVID crash that caused a mass amount of panic here. Well, now we're seeing a VIX that isn't getting elevated. It isn't signaling that volatility and that fear in the market, which isn't good. So what I really want to see is 1 or 2 weeks of extremely elevated VIX here. That way we can reclaim now, shake out those orders, create panic and fear in the market, so then we can actually start seeing a reversal here. Until then, the VIX is still trading relatively low considering the sell-off that we have seen. We're having a VIX under 30 here. Continues to reject at this 3147 region, but in my opinion, for us to get a real reversal or a real bottom or a bounce, we need a good week of a spike in the VIX. Until then, there's not much panic or fear on the market. Everyone's staying on the sidelines, and what they're doing is saying, okay, well, I'm going to wait, and I'm not going to be a market participant, which is also a problem too, because as more and more of these people wait, less and less market participants, and then less fear in the market as well. So just a quick little update there on the VIX. I do want to see a big spike here for any abnormal bottoming or any potential bottoming. Going back to /NQ. Obvious weakness here, looking at it from the weekly chart. We're bouncing here, holding the lows from last week, but continued lows here. Let's see if we can get a move back through 12,000 here for upside on /NQ this coming week. First play is going to be one that I'm sure a lot of you have on watch. It's Tesla. Tesla is nearing those 52-week lows. It got close down here. It ended up at 630, 52-week lows at 571. Tesla, the reason for this sell-off is because the first one, the main one being the market. And anytime you have the NASDAQ down almost 30% off of its highs, you can expect a correction in these bigger beta moves and these common names, these large cap names that everyone knows about. Wanted to note here, potential hold of the 650 support region. There's really two potential plays here on this that I'm eyeing. Back below that 650 region, I will be eyeing puts to the downside into the support down below at 626.47. Or we hold this 650 region. I do think we can get a move back up into the 700 region, which also coincidentally was this region where we bounced here as well. Note the high volume here also on Friday, trading 1.7x the amount of normal volume, bouncing here with some strength. Again, watching this, if we do crack below 650, I do expect to see some downside selling. We'll be taking puts on this. If we do get a move back through this 700 region, I will be eyeing this one closely. We can get some of those buyers coming back in here after getting shaken out off of the strong support region here. So watching this close, really 700 and 650, both crucial levels here this coming week on Tesla. Facebook, another large cap that has been destroyed this year. It seems to be a common theme, unfortunately, but that's what the market's presenting. Really what I'm watching here is we're trying to hold this 192.02 support. Where I got this from was a strong bounce here back on 224. We also got a push up here, hold of the support on 3.2 before we gapped up, held this region right here. Also consolidation here in this region. So watching this 192 region, which is this gap region, I was pointing to the wrong resistance here. What I meant to point to was this level down here at 192.02. You can see we gapped, broke down, rejected, and finally gapped up through here. So very strong support region here at 192. You can see we're holding that up here on Friday. A lot in courtesy due to the market having a strong bounce, but nice potential move here. I want to see this cup move through this 210 region for a move up into 223.20 and then up there above that into 236.35. So ideally watching this through 210, 212 region for a cup move here into the upside to take Facebook calls, watching them this week. Potential to see that 236.35 region above. Obviously going to be dependent on QQQ on the NASDAQ, but again, nice setup here, nice strong support region that we're holding here on 192. Another hold here today. Watching for a cup pattern or a curling pattern up with potential into this 236 region. Third one that's been beat down also here. A lot of weakness shown in value stocks, especially this past week. Interestingly enough, ARK actually had a relative strength on Wednesday and strength on Thursday. First time we have seen that in a long time. So something to note, keep an eye on that. Boeing trying to break down of basically this bearish wedge here. You can see this wedge pattern forming here, forming new lows on high volume, 1.8x the normal amount of volume. Holding this support region from 512. So I want to see a hold below 120 this week on Boeing for downside. If we do hold below that region, I do think we can see a move into 115 and below that into 110. Clear defined downtrend here, continued lows. I want to see a hold below 120. Next support at 117, 115, and then 110 below that. They're large psychological whole numbers. People will be eyeing them as we are going to be trading at 52-week lows if we are at that price level. But again, Boeing looking weak here for the downside move this week, watching it below 120. Target, and I'm sure this is one that's also been on a lot of your guys' watch list simply due to the drop it's had, the unprecedented gap down, and really the weakness that it's brought with in the sector and also in the value plays. And again, this is one that's going to be trading high volume just simply from this big earnings gap down here. So watching this one, ideally below this 150-130 support region. If we do get a breakdown here, I do think we can see net new lows on this into 147. Still some weakness here. We're trying to hold that support region. So we got to wait until that 150-130 support region breaks for any downside here on this one within the coming week. Below that, I am targeting 147 on target this week if we can get that breakdown with volume. Last play, one that's moving with earnings, one that tanked target, one that's following with target as well, also trading high volume. One of the worst 2 days on Walmart in history. I believe it goes back to 1987. Massive gap down here on earnings. Inflation concerns across the board. Watching this one really through this 117.74 support region, which does come from the weekly chart. If we go out here, weekly chart, you can see that level back here from 6.8 and also right here on 6.22 of 2020. So Trading back over 2 years in the range, we're massive selling here, and most volume we've seen in the past 3 years. Now, if you go to the 20-year weekly, you can see we're also getting up there as well. So lots of volume, lots of weakness here. I do think we can see continued lows here on Walmart below this 117.74 region for a move into sub 115, sub 116 area. Potential to find support in that 114 region below. That being said, that wraps up our watch list for the week. If you did enjoy this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. If you are interested in checking out our team, feel free to head to simplified-investing.com today. We would love to have you guys on board. Thank you guys so much and hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks.